Good morning, Satnam. I hope you guys are having a beautiful day. And today we're going to be practicing a kriya that's all about balancing out my favorite gland, the pituitary gland. For those of you who I've practiced with before, you've heard me nerd out on this gland. So the pituitary gland is associated with the third eye, which we practice our drishti, our eye focus, our mental gaze with the third eye quite a bit through in our practice. And whenever we focus, whenever we practice our third eye gaze, we are activating, we're balancing out that pituitary gland. And the pituitary gland is just it's so cool. It's called the master gland of the endocrine system. And it's all about, it produces like so many hormones that just keeps our bodies alive and flowing, and and it's important to try to balance that out. So and that's all of what we're doing with yoga, and on this road of recovery, we're coming back into balance. So enough chit chat. Let's bring our hands into Jnana Mudra, with our thumb and index finger touching, back of the wrist to the knees. Eyes are closed. We're elongating up through the spine, pulling shoulders away from the ears, and begin focusing with your eyes closed, focusing up at this third eye. That spot right in the middle of your forehead, just above the brow line. And when you focus, you're pulling up on an optic nerve that already starts to activate that pituitary gland. And we'll begin deepening the breath, inhaling through the nose, all the way down to that navel center. So you can feel that fresh breath rise up, filling your entire abdomen and torso, all the way up to your shoulders. And then on that exhale, release. Let's do that just a few more times. Inhaling through the nose, all the way down to that navel center. And exhale, release. You might notice if there's any place within your physical body that wants to start to naturally let go of any tightness, any tension, just simply by focusing your breath. Let's begin and continue that long, deep breath. And really using that exhale to begin to release and let go of some of that tightness that you might habitually hold. Okay, one more time, inhale. And on that exhale, release, and release your hands. Go ahead, shake out your hands, shake out your fingers, and your arms, all right, and your shoulders, and just bring that wiggle on down through the abdomen. Okay, and then we're gonna bring our hands into prayer mudra and open our practice chanting Om. We chant this 3 times as a way to connect with each other, connect to whatever healing energy is out, floating about. And inhale, exhale, and inhale to chant. hands together. Let's raise arms up overhead. Imagine that space between your arms filling with a beautiful light. And as you exhale, release your hands and imagine you're drawing that light around you. Almost like a protective sphere to guide you through your practice today. We'll bring hands back to the knees and begin our Sufi grinds. Inhaling forward, exhaling, rounding back, and continuing that movement. We're drawing circles with the torso around the hips, continuing to elongate up through the spine, up through the top of the head. Remember, check in with those shoulders. They may have started to sneak up to your ears, so just gently roll them back down your spine. Very nice. And that's just a nice way, again, to start to wake up the energy in the body. Starting to wake up those lower chakras. And we'll do one more time. Inhaling to center. And then exhale, release and continue that same movement in the opposite direction. This is also a nice way to start to let go of any fear, stress, anger, all those emotions that tend to get stuck in these lower internal organs. You start to release some of that back into the bloodstream and to work it out through the practice. All right, one more time. Inhaling to center. Exhale, release. Okay, let's go ahead and shake out those legs. Tapping the heels on the floor, tapping big toes together. And we're going to come into this staff pose. So inhaling the shoulders back away from the ears. We're going to plant our hands right behind our hips. And really pushing up through the top of the head. Almost as if you're holding yourself up by the heel of your palms. And we're going to inhale, flexing those feet back towards us. Exhale, pointing them forward, and continue that movement. Inhaling up, exhale, point. One more time, inhale up. And exhale, begin drawing circles with the toes in one direction. And then circling into the other direction. Again, pull those shoulder blades away from the ears. All right. One more time. Let's inhale to stillness and shake out those wrists. And we're going to bring the soles of the feet together. Holding on to toes, ankles, or shins, whatever's in front of you. Pulling shoulders away from the ears, elongating up through the spine, and begin your spine flexes. So we're inhaling the heart forward, exhaling, rounding back on that tailbone. And I'm going to turn off to the side here so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing. Inhaling the heart forward, exhale, rounding back, and continue that movement. Eyes are closed, focusing up at the third eye. We're really leading this movement with the heart. Again, eyes are closed. Focusing up, feeling this movement in your spine, waking your spine up. If you start to notice that you've released some of that tension you might hold around the spine, starts to feel a little more awake, you want to pick up the breath, you can. Pick up the pace of the movement. But remember to continue to take a complete breath. Inhaling forward, exhaling back. One more time, inhaling up. And exhale, release. Okay, let's come on up into tabletop. So we're finding our foundation here. Our hands are underneath our shoulders, knees are under the hips, and we're gonna bring this left leg up. And on the exhale, bringing it towards the forehead. Inhaling up. Chin comes up, faces forward. Exhale, arching the spine, bringing forehead to the knee. Inhaling up. And exhale, forehead comes towards the knees. One more time, let's inhale up. And on the exhale, we're actually going to swing that leg all the way through towards the top of the mat, right between the hands. So this left knee is forward, left knee is over that left heel. Our hands are flat on the mat. We're actually going to bring that right leg up. So we're coming into a low lunge, but this is a little different than some of the lunges that we practice, in that the toes are actually flat on the mat. And we're going to roll the shoulder blades away from the ears and lift the chin. Taking just a few breaths here. Inhale, and on the exhale, go ahead and drop that right knee, bringing that left leg back to meet the right back into the tabletop. Oh, excuse me. Actually, we're still here in our lunge. And then we're going to actually bring that left knee down, and then coming into a resting low lunge. So we're sitting back on this left heel, we're reaching this right leg back. It looks a little bit like we're doing pigeon, but the outside of this left leg is parallel to the left side of the mat, rather than coming across the torso. Okay, and then we're going to come laying down with our forehead on the mat, and then reaching our hands back to reach back towards the toes. And again, resting here in this low lunge, resting our head on the mat. Inhale. And on the exhale, bringing hands back by the shoulders, coming back up into that tabletop. Okay, then we're going to do the same thing on that opposite side. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to turn around. You don't have to, I'm just going to turn around so that you can see what I'm doing on this opposite side. So again, planting my hands under the shoulders, knees are under the hips, and I'm going to inhale this right leg up, lifting my chin, And then on that exhale, bring the knee towards the forehead, arching the back. And continue that movement. Inhaling up, exhaling, coming into this cat, arching the back, chin, or the forehead is coming towards the knee. One more time, let's inhale up. And on that exhale, we're going to swing that right leg all the way through to the top of the mat, coming between the hands. And again, checking your foundation here. So that right knee is over the right heel. And we're going to push on up. Again, keeping the top of the foot flat on the mat. Pulling shoulder blades away from the ears, and we're lifting the chin. Coming into that long, deep breathing. Taking just a few long, deep breaths here. And this lunge stretch. And inhale. And on the exhale, dropping that left knee. And then we're gonna bring this right foot right underneath us, okay? So that right knee is still forward. And we're gonna come stretching up through that left leg, resting our forehead on the mat. And our arms are reaching for the back of the mat, the bottom of the mat. Palms are facing up to the ceiling. And coming back into that long, deep breathing. And taking just a few long, deep breaths here. And then let's bring our hands back towards the mat, just beneath our shoulders. We're going to push ourselves back on up and into tabletop. And then we're going to come standing up. Okay. Just checking my time. And now, from here, we're going to come into a full forward bend. So finding our balance again, feeling our feet underneath our mat. We're going to inhale the arms up overhead, and then exhale, swan dive down, reaching for the mat, our toes, ankles, wherever you land is exactly where you need to be. But let gravity do the work here, okay? So our torso and our head are hanging loose. Hips are reaching up for the sky, up for the ceiling. Taking just a few long, deep breaths here. Inhale. And on the exhale, come slowly rolling up, rolling shoulder blades away from the ears, bringing hands into prayer mudra. And then reaching up once more. And this time we're going to hop on into that ego eradicator. So finding a nice foundation here. You want to make sure that you have some bounce in your knees. You're not locking the knees. You're not locking the hips. Arms are reaching up. And then we're going to bring them down to about 30 degrees. And then coming in to that ego eradicator, the fingertips are reaching for the The pads of the knuckles and our thumbs are reaching up, almost like an antennae, connecting us to that space right above us. We're gonna hop on into breath of fire. If you're familiar with breath of fire, you can start on into it. If it's new for you, we're exhaling powerfully through the nose, almost like you're blowing out boogers, but the mouth is closed, no focus on the inhale. We're powering this breath up through the navel. We won't be here for very long, so just hop on into it. If it feels weird, if you don't like it, you can come on into your long, deep breathing. Guys, you're doing great. Just a few more seconds here in breath of fire. Inhale. Bringing the thumb tips together. Splay your fingers, really reaching up through those fingertips, hugging your ears, and exhale. Release. We're going to come back in to that full forward bend, and then stepping back into triangle or down dog. So, pulling shoulders away from the ears, our feet are reaching for the mat, the heels are reaching for the mat, torso's hanging loose. Taking just a few long, deep breaths here, down dog. Hips are reaching for the ceiling. Inhale. And on that exhale, we're going to go ahead and drop the knees back into that tabletop. And then we're going to come laying down on the stomach. Okay, so turning your chin to one side. We won't be here for very long, but our arms are reaching for the bottom of the mat. Palms are facing up towards the ceiling. Just taking a bit of a rest here. You can always switch to face the other side as well if you want to balance out that neck. And coming from this rest, we're going to bring our hands to the mat just below our shoulders. Put my glasses back on. The fingertips are facing up towards the top of the mat. We're going to press up through the heel of the palms, coming into Cobra. So the pelvis is reaching for the floor, shoulder blades rolled away from the ears, chin is up, faces forward. And coming into a beautiful Cobra. Then on that inhale, we're gonna look over the left shoulder. And on the exhale, looking over the right. And continue that movement, inhaling, looking over the left. Exhale, looking over the right. One more time to each side. Inhaling to center. And let's come on. Sitting back on our heels, back into rock pose. Checking the time. Okay. And then we're going to start one of my absolute favorite yoga flows. It's called the full flower blooming. So we're going to bring our hands into a prayer lotus. Our fingertips are touching right here, just by the belly button. And on the inhale, we bring our arms up, just like the lotus behind me. And we're gonna spread our fingers out. We're blooming, and then reaching behind us, bringing our hands back to the ground, and then bringing our forehead back to the mat. And then coming back up again to begin that same process of that lotus. Okay, we're starting right here in the murk and these lower chakras, and we're bringing our hands together right at the heart center, up through our throat chakra, up into the crown, just like this beautiful lotus is blooming, and then reaching the arms around us back to the ground, and then we bring that third eye down to the ground, connecting with that beautiful earth energy, that beautiful grounding energy, and then continue that movement. Let's do just a few more, going at your own pace. Eyes are closed. Okay, you know this movement now. Feel it. Feel that energy rising up, just like a beautiful lotus. And as you draw this circle around you, imagine yourself just enveloped in the light of this lotus that is within you. And just like a lotus coming up out of the darkness, through the murk and the mud, and blooming in the light. Okay. One more time. And now, coming from this bowing flower, we're going to intertwine our fingers into this Venus lock right behind the lower back. Inhaling, and on the exhale, bring the forehead to the mat. And you're welcome to keep your hands right here in Venus lock on your lower back, or you can reach up. Taking just a few long, deep breaths here. Inhale. And on the exhale, go ahead and release, pushing yourself back up, and come sitting back into that easy pose, bringing hands into prayer mudra, and taking this time to just really thank yourself for coming to your practice this morning, and really honoring the courage and the strength that it takes to be on this path of recovery. It is not for the faint of heart, and it is a journey of courage and strength. And regardless of what it looks like, you're doing it, baby. You are doing it. So honor that And we'll close with 3 Satnams. Inhale and exhale and inhale. Satnam. 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 Peace to all, light to all, and love to all of you. Satnam. Okay, now, if you are at McCallum Place and you're doing this for the morning yoga, you can go ahead and pause, or go ahead and stop this video and continue on with your day. Beautiful people, I hope you have a wonderful day. If you are practicing at home, this is a really great kriya to follow up with a meditation. A really wonderful meditation is called the light pour meditation, and it's one of my absolute favorite meditations to do after this kriya. So I'll introduce that to you now. It's suggested to practice this for about 31 minutes, but you know, any little bit of practice is practice, right? So even if it's for 3 minutes, 7 minutes, however long, it'll be great. So our hands are open and we're placing them down by our sides, and on the inhale, we imagine that we're bringing up this water and we're flashing it behind our back. So again, we're inhaling down and we're scooping up this water. We're exhaling, we're almost like we're dousing ourselves in it, just clearing that away, clearing away this arc, like any of the muck that's around the arc line. Clearing around any of the muck that's around that throat chakra. Now, if you would like to get into chanting, there's a great chant that goes along with this. It's Waheguru, 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 Wahegio. And what that chant in essence is saying, is you're coming from the light to, from the darkness to the light. You're thanking the teacher within you, and that teacher is victorious. That teacher within you is conquering all. There's prosperity, abundance. It is victory within your life. So I'll do it with you guys for a little bit longer, and then I'll have to end this video. But again, you're welcome to practice this for as long as you would like to. So again, our hands are in these cups. Waheguru, 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 Wahegio, Waheguru, 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 Wahegio, Waheguru, 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 Wahegio, Waheguru, Waheguru, Guru, Wahe Guru, Wahe Jio, Wahe Guru, Wahe 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 Guru, Wahe Guru, Wahe Jio. Let's do that one more time if you're practicing with me. Wahe Guru, Wahe Guru, Wahe Guru, Wahe Jio. And on that last one, we're going to actually hold the arms up, reaching the hands behind us. Inhale. And then on a big hand and breath, exhale. And I hope you have a beautiful day. Sat Nam.